The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Welcome everyone to Straight from the Paws. And today I have with me my co-host, the lovely designer of our tree, Beverly Andrade.
Hi.
So before we talk about the Festival of Trees, we'd like to thank everyone for attending our Celebration of Giving. It was a different event this year, and I would say that it was quite successful, and we're very pleased with it. I want to thank everyone that came to support the shelter. It's been a very difficult year. This past year has been difficult, and we just want to share something. We have now at our shelter, which is very sad to say, we have a code of conduct listed in the door before you come in and at our front desk. And Bev, do you want to explain why we did that?
Well, lately, I guess you would say through the summer and into the early fall, and actually late spring, we get a lot of people that are coming in that are swearing, abusive to the staff, a lot of people that are hanging up on us or threatening us. We have had to call the police quite a few times in the year 2023. So it does seem that people come in and they feel they don't have to follow any of the rules of society. It's not rules of life, it's just rules that make us get along with other people. We ask you to be polite when you enter. The majority of this violence that we've been encountering has been with people who are claiming an animal. When you claim your own animal, your animal has been taken off the streets by animal control officers, and they do that to protect your animal. Instead of getting hit by a car, getting killed by a coyote, or getting taken by somebody else and kept by somebody else, when animal control officers pick up your animal, it's not a free job.
No, it's not.
Animals get picked up by the 3 animal control officers in the city of Fall River and in the city of New Bedford. They have to respond to the complaints of the citizens. They go to homes that are called hoarders. They go to homes where animals have been left abandoned. They also pick up animals that have been hit by a car or that have been severely abused and neglected. All of these animals come to our shelter from those 2 cities. Animal control officers are paid by the cities of Fall River. They also have gas problems with their cars, they have insurance. All of that takes money. People seem to think that we make money on the claims for your animal. Even if your animal was only picked up for 24 hours.
Or for 2 hours.
Or for 2 hours. A job was done by an animal control officer. The animal was taken into custody, so to speak, into a building and saved from being hurt. The animal then is gotten taken care of by checking its welfare, feeding it, giving it water. We also have to do what's called a vaccine to prevent bordetella, which is an infection that runs rampant in animal shelters or boarding facilities because you've got dogs in close proximity. A lot of owners do not vaccinate their dogs. So if your dog got caught by a person and brought into the shelter and then is put into an area where other animals are not vaccinated, your poor little dog could get a disease.
I want to jump in on that. One of the things too that happens is that I've been there when owners have come in and have been irate because their dog has only been there 1 or 2 hours, and why did we have to give it the vaccine? We're just trying to, get money from them and so on. And the bottom line is that as soon as that dog arrives, we don't know what disease it has,
Correct.
What's going on. We have to, for the safety of the animals, the safety of the staff too, because if the staff is working with that animal, and then all of a sudden, that dog is there for whether it's an hour or 24 hours, they have to be inoculated immediately.
Correct.
And I was talking to a woman, try to calm her down. Where it was an elderly dog, I understand that. And I said to her, do you think any of my staff or myself would be here working if we didn't care about the welfare of each and every animal? We do. And that's why we're doing it. I finally talked her down off the ledge, so to speak, but she still was a little bit upset. And those are the people that always give us bad reviews on Google.
It's true.
Because
it's true.
they're angry at us. And again, you were talking about the cost. We don't get that
We
money.
don't get that money. That money goes to the cities, and it's for the animal control officers and the cities that pay them and take care of the animals that way. When an animal comes in from a city, we don't own that animal. That animal is boarded by the city in our facility. So we're a holding facility. Once the animals are not claimed, then we can evaluate them and put them up for adoption after we get them spay and neutered and all the vaccines that they need, including rabies. So rabies vaccine is a state mandate vaccination. Every animal in the state of Massachusetts must have a rabies vaccine. So a lot of people come in and they're upset because they don't have a rabies vaccine, and we can't release their animal until we give them a rabies vaccine. And that's a state law. It's not a Forever Paws animal shelter law. Therefore, when you see the code of conduct when you walk into the building, it's to remind you that we are workers, we are volunteers, we have families, we have our own pets, and we love what we do. So when you come in and start screaming at us and swearing at us and using profanity
And threatening
us, and we have to call the police and have you physically removed from the building, please keep in mind that we're doing a job that we love. And that code of conduct is to remind you that this is a job that is there to protect your animal if it got lost or stolen or abused by somebody else. We're protecting your animal.
I want to go a little bit further on that too, and I don't know if people aren't aware of this, but in the profession, veterinary suicide is the highest profession of suicide in the United States.
In the United States.
And we, probably a lot of people are not aware of it, but in our area there have been several suicides of veterinarians over the COVID years. We're aware of that. And because of that, it is very difficult for us now to get a dog to get a vaccination the same day. And so what Bev was just talking to you about, the rabies, we have to get that done. We may not be able to get into a vet until maybe 1 or maybe even 2 days later. And people are irate about that. Again, not our fault. Can I bring it to my own veterinarian? You can't. We have the responsibility by law to get that vaccine done. So please understand that. It's not a moneymaker. It's basically, we have to have people understand there are rules and regulations we follow for everyone else.
Correct. So that's our little code of conduct. But let's go on to something really nice.
What?
Let's thank everybody that came to our celebration.
Yes, I started
of
off to
giving.
say that. Yes, that was a wonderful time. I appreciate everyone coming. Appreciate all the support. And I also want to just share that if you weren't there that night, and you better save the calendar for next year. The
Always
last
Saturday in September.
Because we really we express what's going on. And right now I can't give you the numbers for 2023 because I just don't remember them. But I do remember that for 2022 we had over 1,500 animals come through our small shelter. Now that's not adoptions. That's just coming through the shelter. And when somebody said to me, "Well, can you prove that?" I can prove that. We have a program called Shelter Manager, and we can prove it. They were asking me some questions. Well, what about other shelters? I said, I cannot speak for other shelters. I can only speak for our shelter. But we do have documentation and proof that these are how many animals have gone through. And they were quite impressed with that. And this year, I know that we exceeded that number, I'd say almost, we haven't finished the year, but we're heading towards almost 2,000. That's a lot of animals to go through. And one last thing I want to bring up, talking about the veterinarians. Bev, you went last week and I went. Where are we traveling now to get spay and neuters?
So hold on to your seats, everybody. Forever Paws has contracted with another vet in Worcester. So we have to drive all the way to Worcester, which is about an hour and 20 minutes. With 10 to 15 animals in the van, and they get all done in one day. But because of the distance, whoever goes, which usually it's Gail and myself and some other board members, we stay in Worcester for the whole day. And when the animals are done, we just go back to the animal hospital in Worcester, we pick them all up, and we bring them back to Fall River. And then we have to pick up a staff member because the hours at the shelter are closed. The shelter closes at 4:30, and sometimes we get back at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. So we stop at the home of one of our employees, pick them up, go back to the shelter, and the employee then tucks all the animals into bed for the night after surgery. And because they're all still recovering from anesthesia, we want to make sure that they're safe. Sometimes we'll keep small kittens in a a smaller cage as opposed to their big free roaming room, because we don't want them to fall all over the place, because they're like little drunk kittens.
Right. We have protocol that we have to follow.
Right, we have to follow
help
that.
the employee.
We
It's
do.
not just we don't pick them up and say, you do all the work.
No, we
help.
help. We assist in all of that, so that the 10 to 15 animals that we're bringing back from Worcester get all tucked in for the night. On our regular vets here, the staff picks them up during the day, they bring them back, they get them all settled, 1 or 2 at a time. But this is like mass production,
right,
at a hospital in Worcester. And thankfully, it's part of like a mass coalition program. And they have enough vets that they can do a lot of animals at one time. And they do work with all of the other nonprofits that throughout
Right.
the state go there.
And they
so
give
we
us-
get,
they
we
give
get
us
scheduled.
shelter
That's why
rates.
there's so many at one day.
Yeah.
We're bringing 10 to 14 to 15 animals in one day.
Right.
And we pack them up in the van.
Yeah, it's an experience, I can tell you that. But we do it. And,
We do it.
It's just got to
This
be done.
trip, I think what we're going to do is go to Rentham Village Outlets in the in-between.
Right.
We
So
might
we're
be
gonna
able to do that.
Christmas shopping.
Christmas shopping. So it's all good for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. We love animals. We love what we do at Forever Paws. And we're board members and we don't get paid. But we've been doing it for so many years. It's like like our life.
Yes.
It's our life. That's the way
That's
to put it.
basically
It's our
it.
life.
It
Right.
is your life. And the other thing too that you have to understand is that people, the staff that I have at the shelter, I will say they're the most dedicated staff we've ever encountered. They're wonderful, and the board of directors are great. We have some volunteers that have been there for several years and continue to come in and help us out, and that's a big help. You've heard us put out pleas. We've had Denise come on for fosters, which we've had quite a few fosters now. Volunteers are fallen by the wayside. I don't think our community colleges or high schools or anything are not asking for a lot of community service anymore, or even religious programs, so that the kids don't have to do it. They're not going to volunteer. And even though their parents will tell them it looks good on a resume or good for colleges, that applications, they don't really want to hear that anymore. So our volunteer program is very limited, and only because of the people that we have that thankfully that have come in on a regular basis in the last several years. But we are looking for volunteers, and Joyce Pincinall is our volunteer coordinator.
And she's been on the show.
She has been on the show.
Yeah, she's been on the show.
And,
Denise has been on the show.
Yeah, so the volunteers, you can call the shelter and get, Joyce's number, and she will explain to you. I'd like to say it's the first Sunday of every month, but sometimes they do have to change because if she has some unavailability at that time, so they change it up
there's
a
a
little
holiday.
bit. Or a holiday, right. So
Like Labor
things
Day.
change. But we do need volunteers, and don't say, "Oh, I can't do that because I'll fall in love and I want to take them all home."
But we all fall in love.
Yeah, don't we all do that?
We all fall in love. We
do.
all have our favorites.
And when they leave, sometimes when they're fostered, we cry, and we're emotional about it. But we know they've gone to a good home, so that's a good thing. I think once you get your rhythm in there, you see that you're doing a good thing for all the animals, and it becomes easier.
It does.
I think it does become
yes.
easier. So having said that, as you probably can see between Bev and I, there's a nice little sign here that says the Festival of Trees, and it's coming up. It's going to be November 5th.
November 5th from 12.
12, I think it
From
is.
12 to 5 in the afternoon at White's of Westport, and the date is November 5th.
That's what I just said.
Oh, so we repeated that, so you can hear that a couple of times. And we have here a sampling of some of the trees, and Gail's going to talk to you about the tree on her side, the green tree.
Yes, this green tree is the one that I won last year. We kept it decorated. As you can see, we have a chef's hat Forever Paws on it. I kind of like that. And I
She
won
tried
it.
wearing it, but
I
it didn't
yeah.
work.
Well, I can't cook, so it kind of made me feel good. But anyway, it had all kinds of, it was a taste of Fall River and had all the restaurants in Fall River, and I think I've kind of used basically, I think all of them.
All the gift cards?
All the gift cards so far in the past year, but it was really nice to be able to go, and I found some places I had never been and enjoyed going to. So, I've become a customer of those restaurant, so that was kind of fun.
The thing that's on your tree that's so amazing is the girl who did it. She's got donuts on the tree. She's got a pizza on the tree.
Yeah, French
spaghetti
fries.
and meatballs.
Yeah,
she's got French fries.
It's pretty. It's a taco.
A taco.
Yeah, it's a pretty. It was a neat tree.
She's
and I
even
was
got
happy.
a guamki on the tree.
Yes, for Patty's pierogies.
For Patty's pierogies,
Yeah.
that's right. We did use that one. I went
We
with
did.
you.
Yes, we did.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a great tree, and I haven't won in several years, so I was quite shocked when I won it. So we did keep it, and thinking maybe we would recycle it, but then I kind of liked it, so we kept it for a sample tree, and so that's what it is. And let me tell you a little bit about our trees. This year, I've been coordinating the trees, and I'm not going to tell you an exact number because I really don't know. I've already had 2 people back out. One person decided to sell their house. They moved to North Carolina, so they're gone. I've had another person, unfortunately, is having some surgery, decided I may not be recuperating. I said, fine, and does it every year. I'll do it again next year. Fine. So right now, I have about 95 to 96 trees. Will there be that many the day you come? Possibly. There could be even more.
Could be.
There could be even more. After the show, we're going to go deliver, one of our last trees, and then tomorrow I'm meeting some friends for lunch, and I'm bringing them trees that they are going to do for us. So it's kind of evolved, and I think this is the most trees we've ever had. One year we had 100, and one person didn't show, so it was 99.
We had 99.
So, but it's a lot of trees. It's a lot of work. We have a refreshment stand that a lot of our volunteers do some baking, and they have some goodies and candy and all kinds of stuff to sell. We will also have our own products. We have a new shirt this year designed by Ariana.
We all wear our shirts.
We wear our shirts.
Yeah, we all have Forever
Yep.
Paws shirts now.
But we have some shirts, and we also have a hoodie this year, a lightweight hoodie, which I use all the time now. And we have we'll have
Pullover
candles.
sweatshirts. We had a couple of those left.
No more left.
Oh, they're all gone.
We have some candles that Ariana does a little contest on Facebook. If you go onto Facebook, and different animals come on, and the people that own the candle place that don't, they give us a good deal on the candles. They're soy candles. They don't charge us the full price, and they get to select who the animals are on the candle labels, because everybody says, oh, that's because it's their dog, or that they're going to have. I'm only going to have my Lola on there. That's not true. It's they
it's not us
select who's
that
on
does
there.
it.
So we have a little contest for that, and they do that. So we're doing that, and of course, Whites will also have. They have a little.
Concession stand.
Concession stand, that's what they have. We have refreshments, they have concession. They have coffee. Of course, the cash bar is always open. I like going there a little bit. And then we have...
And the Galley Grill is open.
The Galley Grill is open,
Right.
and the restaurant is there. 5 o'clock, that's when we start calling the trees. A lot of people, we ask people to either come back or be aware. Some people just go to the Galley Grill, and then they come over and they wait
Right.
and listen to what it is, because we have to get all the trees out of there by 7 o'clock.
By 7
that
o'clock.
night.
All the trees
And
have to be
so-
out of Whites.
That's a lot of work, but I will say that Jeff Leary, who is one of the owners at Prestige Auto, he said he will bring over a van if we have any that we have left over. They can go pick it up at Prestige the next day. Last year, he sat in the parking lot, Bev and I sat there, and before you know it, the people
All the
had
trees
shown
went
up.
out of the
So
van.
We hope that again happens this year.
A few people got there, it's like 7:30,
Yeah, it
20
was
of
good.
8.
We were sitting
They kept
outside.
saying, I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
Yep.
So we kept the trees in his van, and as they arrived in the parking lot, all the trees went home. So when we left the parking lot at 8 o'clock at night, all the trees were gone.
Yeah, so
we didn't
that-
have to bring any trees to our house or any place
We
else.
appreciate that very much. So Bev, you want to talk about your tree?
So, lo and behold, I want you to pay attention to this beautiful white tree.
Oh, brother.
To my right over here. And on this tree, you'll see, oh, I love that on the TV. Look at that. That's my star at the top of the tree. And on this tree, I had these bright colors, Caribbean colors. I used to say Caribbean. Now people say Caribbean. And we call this tree Margaritaville. So this tree is going to be up at the auction. People can bid on it. It will not have gift certificates on it, but it will have in front of it a lot of Jimmy Buffett stuff. I got a photo of Jimmy Buffett. It'll be in a frame. We have some margarita
Autograph
glasses, autograph photo,
Yeah.
but it's only a
A
copy. It's not
reproduction, right.
original. And we're going to have margaritas all set up, ready to go. Not to drink. You have to make them at home. And my little frog. he'll have a margarita in his hands.
Oh, geez.
I'm going to get one of those little margarita ornaments, and I'm going to put it in his hands. And our little cup will have some bottles of Jose Cuervo. Is that how you pronounce that?
I don't know.
Tequila. And so it'll be all decorated around the tree with margarita stuff. So yes, this is Margaritaville decorated. But what people have to understand when you go to the Festival of Trees, you cannot imagine the creativity of these trees.
Right.
I mean, some are plain, some are simple, because not everybody wants to go out with all the big stuff. A lot of people like just one color ornament on a tree, or they like very simple stuff. And other people go crazy, and they have so much stuff on the tree. It would fill this whole countertop right here with all the items that go under the tree. So there is an array of things you cannot imagine if you have never been. Please come. Even if you don't bid on a tree, it's a wonderful day to spend. You'll find people there that you haven't seen in years. You'll say, oh my God, I can't believe you came, and then talk for hours. It's a wonderful event. Christmas music will be playing. We have a kickoff to the holidays, that's what we call it. Some of the trees this year I can already remember. We have 3 Barbie trees. We know that was going to be a hit.
That was a shocker, huh?
That was a shocker with the Barbie movie this summer. So we're going to have 3 Barbie trees. So we know they're all going to be white, and they're all going to be hot pink.
Right, and we have trees for everybody. It's not just for kids.
There'll
it's
be
for everybody.
football trees up. Usually I do a Patriots tree.
Right.
So I'm not sure who's doing a Patriots tree this year.
I don't have one yet.
We don't have one yet, but we hear the Patriots weren't that good this year anyway. But it doesn't matter if you love Patriots. And sometimes there's a Bruins tree. There's a lot of alcohol trees. There's a lot of toy trees.
Yeah, we have a Winter Wonderland this year as well.
That would be like all winter stuff.
We've got somebody.
We have a chocolate tree.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yes, I think, yeah, someone's making a chocolate tree. Yeah, they're doing the Dorothy Cox chocolate place in Fall River.
I don't know.
So I think there will be a chocolate tree. Can you imagine a tree just filled with chocolate?
That's my dream.
Oh my God.
And you know, chocolate liqueur too, that might help
That
too.
might be
that'd
fun.
nice.
I think I might make that next year.
Oh dear God.
I don't know, I get
she
all
already
these
starts
ideas.
planning what she's
I
doing
already have 2 full
next year.
boxes of decorations downstairs for trees for next year.
So let's talk a little bit about the trees. The trees, we provide the trees only because we want them all to be uniform. We have a little bit of different sizes for next year. It's having a little bit difficulties finding trees, so we're trying to keep it all uniformed as best as we can. However, what happens is we give you the tree, and the people, either business or individuals, they decorate it. It's a $100 value or more. So
remember the or more.
Yeah, and most of them are the or more. And we do have some animal-related trees. We do have Go Fetch from Fairhaven. We'll be doing an usually an animal-related tree.
Is it, where Lola gets her grooming?
Abby's Dog Depot.
She does an animal tree.
I think she'll do an animal tree.
Right.
We also have Meet Me for Coffee, which has a lot of coffee products, and then gift cards either to Dunkin' Donuts or perhaps New Boston Bakery. New Boston Bakery always does a great tree with all his gift certificates and sweets on the tree.
Cookies.
It's amazing.
Obviously, he makes them the day before. We pick up his tree, the last one.
He's the last tree to be selected.
Picked up.
We're very fortunate. A lot of people keep returning, coming every year to do it, and people ask, you know, here's a hint for you. The idea is this: you go in, you can get $20, you get 25 tickets. You get $10, you get 12 tickets. You buy $5, that's all you can afford, you get 6 tickets. You walk around the place and see, mostly the flow always goes in one direction, as you all know.
But it doesn't have to.
But it doesn't have to. You
People
can go
always
in
tend to go to the right.
Right.
But you could go straight into the middle, or you could go to the left, or
exactly.
You can go anywhere.
You know, take a look around, and then go around and select the trees you want. I would say at least 50 to 60% of our customers come back and say, my number is 32. You get a number. You don't put your name on the ticket. You don't have to bring your labels. You give the people there, you tell them your name, how many tickets you want. They're going to write it down, and give them a phone number that is your phone number that either you have on you that's a cell phone number, or where you're going to be located when we start calling trees at 5 o'clock. Don't give me your work number because you're not there until the next day. Don't give me your shop number because you're not there on a Sunday. You have to give me your number that you can be reached at that day, or on the Sunday. So that's important to understand. and go around. And the other people, I say this all the time, they go around, they crinkle the tickets. Well, any tickets that's crinkled do not get selected. We go around and we uncrinkle the tickets. I have workers all day, going around and checking and watching people. We have a lot of liquor trees in the past, and you have to be, obviously we put a sign, you have to be 21 to win that tree. We have lottery tickets, trees, the same thing. But people have to understand that, I have a lot, the workers walking around, and some people say, that person's putting their hands in there. Yeah, they're a worker, and they're checking to make sure everything's going okay. I'll tell you, the amount of trees that we have are phenomenal this year. The different ideas that they're coming with, like the Barbie, we kind of knew there'd be one, but three,
we knew
that's
there'd be Barbie trees.
But you know what?
Year.
Hey, that'll make 3 little girls very happy.
That's right.
So
and I know we have a little boy's tree. We have the baby tree.
We have a baby tree.
The baby tree.
We have 2 boys' tree. We have 2 women that actually do a little boy and a little girl tree, and another one does the same thing.
Right. So
there's 2.
There's kids' trees.
There's kids' trees. There's all kinds of trees. Like I said, for anyone that's interested, great thing. We're very fortunate. Our next door neighbors, they have a big van. They help with the Fall River Food Pantry, the Mancinis. They're great people. He will help us bring all the trees in the morning and get them all set up. It's a really busy morning. We start about 9 o'clock, and we have to be ready for the public to open the doors. People get there early, and again, we have to say you have to wait because we have to get everything all set up. And I have to assign people jobs and what they're doing. So it's important that people understand, just be patient. People, like Bev said, you greet people you haven't seen in a while, you talk to different friends, you make new friends, and people get really excited about this event. And this is one of our, I would say, it's a big event for us, and it's
right.
we make a lot of money on it, which is good for the animal shelter. We appreciate it very much.
Speaking of money,
go ahead.
all the way back to the beginning of our show when we started talking about the animal control coming in. We don't make money on animal control, but the thing that we do make money on is fundraising.
Right.
Fundraising and donations where we make our money. Adoptions don't make money.
No.
We actually lose money on adoptions, believe it or not. The cost of a spay or a neuter, for instance, you can have a small dog spay is $500, but the adoption fee is $385. So you can see right away you lose money on adoptions. And going back to that code of conduct, what we like to do is keep our prices affordable.
Right.
The price for you to adopt an animal is not sky high. If you go to a breed rescue or a breeder, you're going to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for a dog. We could have the same dog at the shelter, and you're only going to pay $385 to $485. If it's imported from another state or from Puerto Rico, then it's $100 more because we have to pay Puerto Rico or another state for the animals. But that's what that's what we have to do. So we don't make money on adoptions. We want to make sure everybody understands.
Yeah, that's a good clarification.
It's this where we get our money.
Right. And we do have a couple coming up, which we'll talk about in one of our next shows. We have the Drag Queen Bingo is coming up in January, and I think it's in March. We're going to have Funny for Funds.
Well, comedy show.
Yes, so we'll have that.
That'll be at the Liberal Club, by the way.
Club, yes, it will be.
Right.
So
the
we'll
Drag
have
Queen
that.
Bingo's at White's. And,
Yep.
and then we'll throw in a yoga with alpacas.
Yep.
We'll throw in the clam boil.
Yeah, we have to have a lot. We have to have a lot of fundraising, and I throw a shout out to my fundraising committee. A lot of them are board members, but a lot of them are individual volunteers that have joined us in our venture to get all the funds that we can. So I think wrapping up our show, I think Bev's correct in telling you this is what supports us. If you care about animals and you want to help the animal shelter, go on our website, www.foreverpaws.com, or go on, Facebook, social media. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all there at
The Festival of Trees.